Okay, let's recap where we are. I've taken it all apart. I wire brushed it down. I've even taken this over to the wire wheel, and I've gotten all that grease out of all these grooves in this worm drive thing. So I don't want to paint it. I've decided to put it back together, put a good coat of oil or something over it, and just leave it natural for right now. So that's what we're going to do. So now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this worm drive back into this vise, and we're going to put this collet back on there. Okay, I cleaned the collet up, put a little grease in here. When it lines up inside, it's going to line up with that hole. That's where this set screw goes down into that hole. So I'll be right back and I'll set this up and I'll show you. Okay, so what did I do to this? I put super thick, it's like gear oil on here. Coated it all up. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to slide it right into this, right here. Okay, and we're going to line that hole and that collet up. Now, what I should have done is, you have to put the collet on first. I didn't do that. You take it all the way up and out, hold it down in there, do the collet now, and we're going to line it up. Screw it down by finger tight first, and reach in there with a screwdriver, tighten it up down into that hole. Hard to see right there, and you're going to feel the screw grabbing that hole and just cinch it tight. That's all I did here. Okay, now what I've done is I've put oil, that thick oil, all over this right here, this platen, this flat part, and put a little more in my hand, and I'm going to reach in here and put it all over this whole thing. It used to get stuck in there really tight and would not come out. That's because of all of the rust and the grime buildup and everything. But now we're using this super thick oil. Now let's see what happens here. Now look at that, it slides right in. Beautiful. Alright. Now we still got to turn it over, put the last piece on. Alright, just a sec, let me get it set up. Okay, so this piece, after it's all cleaned up, you turn around and set it in there because that's where it goes. Okay. And then we're going to thread that worm screw through here and through this. So we're going to put this up. Like that. Alright, now you got to put this collet in here and hold it up where that screw is. Got to be held up and down. So put that in just like this. You'll feel it bite into the other one. And just start turning it like this. There we go. I can feel it grab now. We're going to keep turning it. Alright, so now we'll go ahead, we got that in there, and I'm going to line that screw up with the hole that's in that threaded shaft. As I get it over here. Okay, let's turn it up. Let's test it. There we go. Works beautifully now, okay? Beautifully. Look at that. All right. My hand's clean a little bit here. There it is. Put oil on it. This thing will not rust. Looks beautiful. I just use real thick gear oil. It works for me for right now. I've shown you both vices. They're not hard to restore. You should consider it if you run across one. You can still get jaws online or aftermarket jaws. Okay, on that Morgan Chicago vise, you can see up here I got new jaws for it. I think they were $60 including shipping. These are original because they still have the specs. There's a place that still makes parts for the Morgan Chicago vices. So parts are available out there. I wouldn't shy away from it even if you had to make your own jaws. I'll point out what I would have done on that Rock Island one. I've decided not to do it right now, but let me show you. You can see up here, this is flat. It's almost like somebody ground it for a reason. There's no jaws on this at all. Now, if I look at the other one that's original to the vise, it's still got jaws. They're worn, but it's there. And again, I think I mentioned earlier, you could take, I would get a real thin, okay, don't just go out to Harbor Freight. I would get a real thin cutoff wheel. As about as thin as you can get, a couple of them. You can buy them online off of Amazon and cut it like at an angle. Start up at the top, go like this, just cut it like this across all the way down. Then turn around and come back the other way and cut it like that. And you will have made yourself a set of jaws. You can still use the same screws. Everything lines back up. I decided not to do that right now because I do a lot of woodworking and this could be an advantage for me. I want to see how it goes, but if it doesn't go that way, I'll either buy new jaws or I'll do with that cutoff wheel what I just told you. And there's, hey, sorry, I did forget to mention one thing on the completion of this when you have it all together. There's a pin that was missing. It needs to go down into here and it comes out in front of that little anvil piece that was female threaded. That holds this whole thing back and forth when you're operating it from wanting to like freely spin, like when you're turning the handle. So I just took, well, just a piece of 1/4-inch rod, and you can feel it must be tapered in here somewhere. It starts to grab. Just tap it down, nice and flush like that. Okay, what I do at this point is I put a couple drops of CA glue. Why do I use CA glue right here? This is a couple of drops. Well, there we go. It'll hold it. Now, if I ever want to get it off of there, all I got to do is use butane torture map. Yes, heat it up and it instantly will free this. But this way I know it won't just fall out on me. Okay, that was the last tip for completion of this that I use. The CA glue I use is called Stick Fast, right here. I buy it off Amazon. It works great. Any other questions, drop me a line. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.